Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to go over the Reteach pages that I assigned you for this week. And that would be pages 479 and 480. So you are using the pages that you had in your book, you tore them out, you wrote on them. We're going to go over those answers. If you don't have your book, you could have printed a copy, or you could have just simply wrote your answers on lined paper. Either way, let's go over all these questions. So hold on. Okay, here we go. Set A. They show on the left, this is the way these Reteach lessons work. On the left, they kind of just go over the main points of that lesson. I'm just going to go right to the actual practice problems. We know, here we are at number one, we know that we need to have a measurement for the length, width, and height. So the length is 1, 2, I'm going to make it a little bigger, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is 7 units. Our width is 1, 2, and our height is also 2. So 7 times 2 equals 14, and 14 times the other 2 equals 28. So 28 cubic units. Number 2, same thing. Length times width times height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, and 1, 2. 5 times 2 times 2 equals 20 cubic units. Number 3. Length is 1, 2, 3, 4. Width is 1, 2, 3. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 times 3 equals 12. And 12 times 6 is 72 cubic units. Now, you may have seen the note on Edsby talking about this week's work. And from this point on, if you want to use a calculator to calculate your volume or any kind of calculations, you are allowed to do that now. Because I am really just deciding if you understand how to do volume. I know you already know how to multiply, so I just want you to be able to do the multiplication and focus on the actual concepts of finding volume. In set B, they talk about the formula, which is basically what we've been doing. I'm just going to go right over here. There's 2 different formulas. There is formula where you have the base. I'm going to write that over here. Volume equals the base times the height. Or you could use the formula volume equals length times width times height, like we did up in here. Now the base times height is just a short way of doing this, putting a parentheses around the length times width, because length times width is the same thing as the base. And then, of course, we'd have to multiply the base times the height to get the full volume. Okay, so for the next section, it says find each volume. You may use cubes to help. No, thank you, we don't need to. The area of the base is 42 square meters, and the height is 3. So all we have to do is 42 times 3. And when we do that, you will get 126 cubic meters. Okay? Area of base is 75 square inches, and the height is 15 inches. Just to make sure you don't lose your calculation skills, I'll do this one on the side here. We start with the 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 more makes 37. Before we move on to the 110s, we have to put a 0 placeholder underneath the 5. And 1 times 75 is 75. Add it all up, we'll get 5, 12, carry the 1, and 11. And so the answer for this one is 1,125 cubic inches for number 2. Number 3, if you multiply 8 times 4, you'll get 32, and 32 times 3 is equal to 96. This is cubic feet. Okay? There are the answers for the first page. Let's go on to set C, starting over here. Some solid figures can be separated into 2 rectangular prisms, and I know some kids were having a hard time with this. This can be separated into 2 rectangular prisms. I'm just going to kind of blow this up a little bit. Notice the dotted line here. They're showing you that this piece right here is one rectangular prism that you can find the volume of. This piece underneath it is the other rectangular prism that you can find the volume of. And you're going to find the volume of both and add the 2 together. They're showing you how to do it with a formula. Volume is going to equal to the volume of the first one, which is 4 times 4 times 5. So where are those amounts? Here's 4, this amount right here. Now how do you know that's 4? Well, there's a lot of ways you can find that out. 4 is opposite this side, and sides that are opposite in a rectangular prism are equal. This side right here is opposite this side right there, which is 4. So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. So 4 times this length here, well, width, I should say, and that is 4, because once again, opposite sides, 4, 4, 4. So that is 4. So when we do our multiplication for this one, you're going to see that it's going to be your length is 4, your width is 4, and your height, they tell you, is 5. So 4 times 4 times 5, and that equals 80. The next one is going to be 10 times 4 times 5, which is 200. So 80 plus 200, 280. So that's how to do it. So hopefully that clears that up. When you do the math for the 2 problems on the side, you're going to find probably you separated it like this. You found the volume of this one, rectangular prism 1, and rectangular prism 2. Okay? If we did the first one, that's going to be 2, because that's opposite this and opposite this, which tells us it's 2. We're going to do this side here. which is got to be 6. So 2 times 6, and then we know that it is 3 centimeters tall. So rectangular prism 1 is equal to 2 times 6 times 3. 2 times 6 times 3 is 12 times 3, which is 36. The second rectangular prism on the bottom is measuring 10 by 6 by 2. So 10 times 6 times 2 is going to be 120. I think. Yep, 120. Now we just need to take this amount and add them together. 120 plus 36 equals 156 cubic centimeters. And that's the answer. The second one in which you will come up with the volume, I'm just going to go ahead and put the total is going to be 375,000 cubic meters. There's a couple ways you could have done this. You could have done this by separating into 2 rectangular prisms. We know that 50 is this length, it is this length, it is this length, this length, everything that's opposite. So we know that this is 50. Once you know that it's going to be 70 times 50 times 90. 70 times 50 times 90. Now you see, this is probably why I've considered letting you guys use calculators. One way to do this without a calculator is just do 7 times 5 and then multiply the answer by 9. Write that answer and then add 1, 2, 3 zeros to it. And if you multiply 7 times 5, you'd get 35. And multiply 35 times 9, and you'll get 375. 3 zeros added to it, and you'll get your total here. Oh, wait, I take that back. I got a little ahead of myself here. This is the final answer. I didn't really do this math right. 5 times 9 is 45. Add a 4 up here. 9 times 3 is 27. And 4 more makes 31. So this answer is 315, comma 000. 3 zeros. Okay. The top rectangular prism, I'm going to run out of room here. Let's see, I'll do it over here, is going to measure we're going to do 70.
The network has to be prepared to absorb whatever it's going to come its way. We're always prepared.
And I see that this length right here, this one right here is 10. This is the amount that is not part of the 70, which makes up this rectangular prism. So what we have to do is we have to take that 10 away to get 60. So we know that this length right here for the top rectangular prism is 60, because 60 plus 10 is going to equal to 70. So that's pretty tricky. We know that the top part here is going to be 110 minus 90, because this whole thing is 110, and this part is 90. that means this height is 20. So we have 60 times 20 times 50. Okay? That is going to be 60 times 20 is going to be 1,200. And multiply that by 50. 5 times 12 is 60. And I got 1, 2, 3 zeros to add to it. So add my 60,000 to my 315,000. And you will get, that's a lot of math, and that's why these are hard, challenging questions. Okay, let's move on to the last section. This video is getting pretty long. Molly used 1-inch cubes to build the structure shown. She left a 3-inch by 1-inch opening in both layers of the structure. This is actually a lot simpler to just kind of look at the picture. We know that both layers have a hole in the middle. I'm kind of showing you where that hole is. So what we have to do is just figure out what is the volume of the cubes all around the hole. So let me see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 in the front, we got 5 in the back, that's 10. And then I have 1 in the middle and another one in the middle. So that is 12 for the top layer. The bottom layer, they tell us, is the same. So 12 plus 12 equals 24. So the total volume of the structure is 24 cubic units. All right, and that is your review. Back to where are we? There we are. That was a lot of review. Those complicated 2 rectangular prism figures are challenging. You really have to look at them. And one of the key to looking at the sides, which you don't know the measurements are to look at what's opposite it and see if you can figure out what the length is, or the width is, or the height is, by looking at opposite sides in your rectangular prism. Tomorrow, or today, you're going to take your practice test, and then tomorrow, I'll put up another video where we go over all the questions on the practice test, and that will get you ready for the test on Friday. Okay, good luck. I'll talk to you later. Bye.